Whatever we do must be shared with our fellow beings. We can't prosper if the people in our neighborhood do not have the bread to eat. Join us into the journey of subsistence marketplaces in Haryana, a vibrant state of northern India. Carved out of Punjab in 1966, Haryana made considerable economic progress. With a per capita income of over $1,100, Haryana is amongst the richest states in India. While agriculture is the profession of a large segment of population, the state has developed industrial clusters and has a vibrant manufacturing industry, and also the service and the education industry. But just as every pyramid has a bottom, the fruits of progress are unequally distributed. About a quarter of the population in Haryana lives at the subsistence levels. Without getting into the debate of defining poverty levels, let us deem it as relative inadequacy. Relative because poverty is relative without an absolute zero. While someone with a bike might be poor in some areas, another with a cycle might be rich elsewhere. Let us have a look at the lives of those living at the subsistence levels. Given the narrow income spread, subsistence marketplaces are deemed to be monolithic entities without any significant differentiation within the strata. In addition to resource inadequacy, subsistence level living is also a type of lifestyle. For a better understanding, let us look at the distinctive segments that exist within the populations. In addition to the demographic differentiations, these populations can be more appropriately segmented on the basis of residence, that is, rural and urban. There is a distinctive lifestyle and a thought process associated with the place of residence. Taking access to resources as a base, distinctive subsegments appear within the rural and the urban segments. Let us have a closer look at these segments, starting with the disadvantaged sections. Subsistence level people living in the rural areas are characterized by low monetary income and little exposure to the marketplaces. These people work as agricultural laborers or do the jobs with irregular cash flows. They may not have adequate physical assets, and these inadequacies diminish their self-confidence as well. They live on the government support for health, education, and ration items. While their lives have undergone a change, a few are able to come out of the vicious circle. For them, life is a straight line journey without a little hope. Let us now look at the lives of their urban counterparts. We call them as living on the edge because their living conditions are even worse than those of the villagers. In the rural areas, people have non-monetary sources of income in the form of grain, milk, self-grown vegetables, etc. Also, they have a social circle to bank upon in the times of need. People in the towns and cities have to live by themselves. In Haryana, a vast majority of the segment comprises of the migrant labor, which is employed in the construction and the labor-intensive industries like paddy processing, brick kilns, etc. Usually, a labor contractor would facilitate their migration. He would hire hundreds of laborers comprising of the male and the female workers, and often small children accompany them. The contractor provides temporary shelters and the basic facilities like water, sanitation, and sometimes even electricity. The people are paid up to Rs 200 as a daily wages. Most of their purchases are done from a shop owned by the contractor. They buy on daily basis and often on credit. They may have a second-hand television and an antenna to view free-to-air channels. They use cell phones and also room coolers in some cases. They have their own innovative solutions to their problems. Just look at the jute wrapping used to keep the water cold, a manual mixer grinder, and a jugaad repair of the chair, and a micro-sized farm to grow spinach, which is sufficient for a day. Other migrants could be the families who migrate to find a job, and they are the ones who live in the slums. Slums develop around the railway stations or in the open spaces in the city. These people do manual activities like rag picking, labor work, etc. They have almost no physical assets, and for them, life is a journey without any destination. Their life continues to remain the same, and they are the ones who are truly living on the edge. Now let's look at the lives of the rural people who live at the moderate level of access to the resources. We prefer to call them hopeful because for them, life is a journey with a ray of hope. Often, these people have multiple but irregular sources of income. They may have a small piece of land, work in nearby factories, shops, etc., or can be employed as artisans, service providers. Driving a locally fabricated jugaad auto rickshaw is very popular, giving employment to thousands of people. Pyara Singh supplements his income by selling the milk. His brother drives an auto rickshaw, and both the families live in the same house. His family has a satellite TV connection, electricity connection, a bike, and his children go to the school. His lifestyle has undergone a major change. He is aware of his rights and thanks the government for the support. His streets are lit by solar powered lamp, and for him, journey is full of hopes and aspirations. Let us also have a look at this local village shop. The shop caters to the nearby residents. Almost all major brands of toiletries are available in the shop. Shopkeepers purchase the goods from the nearby town, often in cash, but they have to sell it on credit to the customers. Retailing in the villages is a low volume but a profitable business as the margins are often very high. Let us visit their counterparts in the urban areas. We call these people as strugglers because they do not have non-monetary income supplements, just as the rural people have. Although there are social networks which give them some degree of safety. These people are educated, maybe up to graduation, and work in government institutions or at the entry-level jobs in the private establishments. They live in the cemented houses with electricity, cable TV, and satellite TV connections. Their streets are cemented, and their maintenance and sanitation is a problem. The products which they use locally are the ones which are manufactured by the factories around them. Their buying decisions rest upon the functional performance and not anything else. Jasbir hopes to be absorbed in the university on permanent basis one day. The awareness level and the market exposure of the people like Jasbir empowers them, but still, for them, life is full of uncertainties. Let us see improvised shop of Ram Nivas, which is mounted on a four-wheel drive powered by a jeep engine. He runs a mobile cycle repair shop because he can't buy a shop, and he also saves upon the rent and other fixed costs. The women also help their husbands to supplement their income in whatever way they can. Life of the subsistence level people in the cities is far more stressful, although it offers opportunities as well. However, they are amongst the most promising segments, as they will be the first to migrate to the prosperity. In addition to the resource inadequate segment, there are people for whom living at the subsistence levels is a lifestyle. We call them budding because they are on the verge of moving out of the subsistence level lifestyles. They are well off in terms of access to the resources, but they lead the life of constraint. They have a lot of debt burden upon them. While in terms of income or fixed assets, they are not at a disadvantage, but they refuse to move out of the localities where subsistence level people live. Subsistence marketplaces are heterogeneous and their needs need to be understood to enable their economic participation. Subsistence level populations are the reality of our population. They need to be understood by logic than rhetoric. They may be lacking the resources, but they have adequate cognitive and moral values. And their well-being is the enlightened self-interest of the society as well as business. To quote President Roosevelt, the test of our progress is not on whether we want to have more for those who already have more. It is whether we provide enough to those who have too little. In addition to providing products, jobs, the market can offer them confidence and hope. Confidence that they would be able to make it, and a hope that tomorrow would be better than today.